Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing fine. I'm here. I'm here, guys, and we're gonna talk about stuff. But first of all, I want to thank my subscribers. Guys, you guys are awesome. I don't even know what I can say, but you guys are awesome. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for asking those questions. Thank you for that support. Guys, I really do appreciate you. And for the new subscribers, welcome to Charities Bubble USA. This is where we give information. I share about my life here in the US. I share about the challenges maybe I have to face. I also share about what I'm doing. Like I said, like this time I'm going to school and I'm also a parent. So I want to share so that, just to share, it's good to share. Sharing is good. So today I want to talk about two things. But before I talk about that, my name is Charity Nganga. This is Charities Bubble USA. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly consider subscribing to my channel, guys. You guys are just awesome. So I want to talk about the first thing I want to talk about is an invitation, because I had this fan who texted me and asked me if I could send them an invitation because there was an agent who was processing for them stuff to come here in the US. So the agent told them that they only need an invitation. Now, I want to talk about an invitation in detail so that you guys can understand. Because when we talk about an invitation, we talk about when you're coming here, you're coming to do something. It's like when you invite a visitor to come to your house, maybe there's a wedding, or maybe they're coming to see a new baby, all that stuff. It's the same thing when you talk about those invitations. You find that if I send someone an invitation with no valid, like it doesn't have weight. That's what I would say. You find that that invitation is going to be irrelevant, and they're going to go to the embassy and they will not be given the visa. Why? Because you will be asked, what are you going to do in the US? So if you say that I'm just going to visit Charity, then they will ask you, they might deny you because they'll be like, then when you go and visit her, they'll start asking you so many things because there is no weight. But look at a person who has been invited for a graduation. There's that specific graduation that is happening in May. There is that specific graduation that is happening in December. Those people, when you get that invitation, at least that has weight, because if they ask you, what are you going to do? I am going for a graduation and then I will go back home. See what I mean? If it's a wedding, I'm going for a wedding. And then after that, I will go back home because it's an occasion. Maybe there's a death. Living in the US doesn't mean that life doesn't go the normal way. It goes the normal way. People die, people are buried. So you find that there are some people who decide they're going to be buried here in the US. So you can, if you have that, and it's you have been you really need to come for that funeral, then you can go and ask for the visa. So it has to have weight. But what I normally tell you guys is that to navigate until you get that visa, it is very it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I'm not saying this so that to put fear on anybody or for anybody not to try. No, I'm just want to tell you that at the back of your mind, the visa that you are applying for, you always have to have that that space, that little space, that even if you get disappointed, you're not going to be broken. Because you find that there's some people who have gone to the embassy with that high expectation, and then when they were denied the visa, their dreams were shattered and they were broken and their life changes. That's not what we want to live in reality, in the real thing. Huh? So so I needed to clear on that. So because someone might tell you, oh, I'm gonna invite you, send you an invitation letter, I'm gonna come, you're gonna come here, I'm gonna get you a job. Where? Nobody is gonna help you to get a job here. What helps you to get a job here is your credentials. And what I mean by credentials, maybe you came with a green card, you wanted to go and work at Walmart. Then they will ask you, do you have a social? Do you have an ID? Do you have a permanent resident card? Those are the papers. You know, when people say makaratasi, those are the papers. So when you do not have those ones, then you're not going to get a job. That visa that was stamped, that passport that was stamped, that one cannot get you a job. Because visas are categories. If you came with B1 and B2, you are a tourist, you are a visitor. So you find that that is the specific one. And there is no way that, let's assume maybe you came as a student. There is no way you came with a student visa and then you say that now you are not a student, you are a visitor, you are not going to go to school. No. It doesn't work like that. So you find that even in the invitation, they need to have some weight. They do need to have some weight, so that when you're going to the embassy, at least you're telling them, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going for a graduation. I'm going for a wedding. I'm going for a funeral. All that stuff. I'm going to see a new baby. So they have to have weight. If it doesn't have weight, sometimes it might not help you, and you don't want to waste all your money um, going for those interviews and failing. And sometimes it's not even failing. They'll just ask you, what are you going to do? Why did she invite you? What's the occasion, or whatever. If you're not able to answer that, then you find that they will tell you to try another time. And what I normally think is that because I've stayed here for a long time, and I know like how we plan work. Like for example, when I go to work, there's that we get report, and then when you get report, there is those things that are there that they will be done for that day. You see what I mean? That's kind of how I think that it operates. I don't know very well, but that's how I think. Looking at how the system here is arranged, like everything is always in order. Like there's a way that everything is done. Even if you go for a new job, they will show you this is how we do our things. This is how we do our things. Yes, the changes are going to be there, but there are those norm things that are there that do not change. And why I'm saying that is that I think that even when they are giving the visas, they have looked at all the cases, because they must look that part. They must look. They must check your background check. They must check all that stuff, and then they sit down and they decide. This person is going for this reason. This person is going for this reason. This person is going for this reason. This one, maybe this one doesn't. This one can try another time. This one we are going to give a visa. This one is whatever. That's how I think. That's how I normally think, because I'm like, oh, that person was denied, and that person was given, and that other person was denied. That's how I think it works. But you find that you have to have it has to have something. So if it doesn't have weight, for me, I wouldn't invite anybody if I'm not inviting them for a graduation, if I'm not inviting them for a wedding, if I'm not inviting them, something. I would not, because if you invited someone, of course you give them your address and all that stuff. And sometimes you are asked to give proof that you're able to support that person when they are living here in the US. You find that what the problem is, even if you are able to support that person and they do not have the right papers, you might not be able to get them a job. And you find that they will stay in your house because you invited them, and maybe they don't have anywhere else to go. And then you will end up not liking each other. You will end up enemies. You don't want that to happen to you. You don't want to be stranded here, because you can be stranded. Believe me, you can. And this is because everybody works by schedule. Everybody does their own thing. They have a certain schedule that they follow. The other day, I told you guys that I've made my schedule up to March. God willing, I normally make my schedule 2 months ahead. Why do I do that? I never used to do that. But at a time, I looked at how my life was going and how my kids were going and how my work was going. I was like, no, I need a plan. And so I normally like to plan. Like right now, I know up to March, I'm gonna work here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be in school at this time. This is what I'm gonna be doing. So that's how it works. So you find that if you have been invited by a person and they're telling you that they're gonna get a job, they're not gonna get you a job anywhere. First of all, you need licensing. When you get your license, then you look for a job online, or maybe you call, you ask. Normally, they tell you to fill out a form online, and then you go for the interview. When you go for the interview, then they're going to tell you, when you go for the interview, then they are going to tell you to give those papers. And then you will, after when you're doing your paperwork, they will ask you, are you authorized to work in the US? And your documents are going to say, because I told you here, everything is open. If it's my social, it's my social. And if they go and verify, they will find that it's my name. Even if I change my name, like I had to change my name because when we came here, I had my dad's name and I needed to change it to my husband's last name. Like the way Africans, when we get married, we normally tend not to change our names. I don't know why. But you find that here in the US, when they get married, they change their names immediately. But there are some still who do not, but the majority, they like to change their name and have the name of the husband. But you find that Africans, it takes a while. So when I changed my name, you find that when I go to look for a job, I put my new name there, but there's another column that asks me, have you used any other name? So I have to write that other name that I was using. You see what I mean? So you find that there's a way that the system works here, and it tends to eliminate that person who is not here, like with the right paperwork. So instead of you coming to suffer here, and I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna invite Francis. We talk about that topic of not having papers, how you'd survive. His view, how he thinks about it. You find that sometimes it might be so hard. It might be very, very hard on you. So it's very, very important for you to know that. Now, so I've talked about invitation, and I hope you guys have understood that. I'm also going to talk about this other person who told me that there are which states did you mention? Thanks. There are older mamas who have made us, who have made well as caregivers. Not everyone can be a nurse, which is true. I normally tell you guys, not everybody can be a nurse. Not everybody can go to college to get a degree. Not everybody. And it doesn't mean that you're a lesser person. No, it doesn't need that you're a lesser person. I told you guys here, even if you're a janitor, even if you're a janitor, the person who collects trash, you are important. Why? Because if today I walk into my job and I do not have a CNA, I don't have a medic, I will suffer, because it means that I have to multitask. And you find that it's hard to multitask because you're scheduled to do this. So if something else comes in, you find that you lag behind. See what I mean? So this one, so it's not like it's so the old mamas, it's good, but you find that they have papers. They have papers for them to make it. So it's very, very important for you to think about papers. Another person asked me if they could get a job. Let me read that one. They said, where is that question? It was up here. No, it was here somewhere. So this person, they said they don't have legal paperwork. There are jobs available for now for those wanting to work. Now, if you don't have paperwork, don't try. That's what I would say. Like, what's the point of coming and you do not have the papers? If you're coming to visit, come visit, go back, visit again, go back, visit again. Who knows? You might get another one that will bring you here, because they see that you are honest. But if you come and hide, and then by luck you get something, you find that if they find out maybe you are working, that's a ground for you not to be given a visa. Because the first thing that they're going to ask you is, have you been in the US? You have to say yes. You can't lie. Why? Because when you are exiting, when you're going home, you exit the airport, whatever, for you to leave. When you leave US, you find that that information is in the database. They know this person came in at this date, and this is the date that they left. So there is no way that you can say that you weren't here. If you are here, you are here. You see what I mean? So, and it becomes a problem, because they will ask you, why did you overstay? And why I'm saying that is because I remember this lady I was talking to. She's an older lady, and she had gone to visit, and then she became sick. So she extended. She was supposed to go home at a specific date. That's when her visa was expiring, but she extended. She told me when she went for her interview, she had so much trouble to explain to them that she got sick. Hmm? She even had to give a discharge letter. You know, the letter that you're given, the discharge letter by the doctor, so that they could see that she was speaking the truth. You see what I mean? So you find that you don't want to put yourself in that position. So what I can say is that if you do not have the right way for you to work, do not come and suffer here, because you might suffer because everywhere you go, they will ask you for a paperwork, and you are not. It's hard to get a job. And another thing, when you're working here, you have to pay taxes. So if you are not legal, or you don't have those papers, you find that you won't be able to pay taxes. So let's assume you came and you stayed for 10 years, right? Because they know when you entered the US, they know that. Because here it's not like where you find that the files have gotten lost. You know, some stuff happens, and maybe you bought a piece of land, and when you go to check, you find that they say that the files were lost. Here, nothing gets lost. So even if you came and you stayed for 20 years, they will still go and look and see this person came on this date, and this is the date that they exited. When you are exiting, they don't ask you anything. But when you're coming back, they even tell you, even after winning the DV lottery, that getting a visa is not a guarantee that you will enter US. So it's crazy, guys. It's crazy, guys. So what I can advise anybody, according to how I have lived here and I have seen, it is best. If you came with a DV lottery, okay. If you came as a student, well and good, because you'll come, you'll go to school, and then they can give you jobs there in the college. You can work there a few hours, and then if the hardship becomes bad, and like you still really, because you need a lot of money. I told you guys, the students pay, the international students pay more. They pay a little bit more, so you can go talk to your counselors and they can allow you to go and work outside, but it's still limited, but it's still okay. But if you came as a visitor and then you want to say, oh, I'm going to go there as a visitor and Charity is going to get you a job, oh no, I'll be lying. I'll be lying. So it's very, very important for you to know that it's hard, guys. It's hard without the papers, and you do not want to be frustrated, because here you can be frustrated until you get depression. And you find that why? Because the person who you are living, it has their own schedule. I told you the other day, guys, that I've done my schedule up to March. I know like where I'm gonna be at this specific time. This is what I'm gonna be doing, God willing. You have to plan. Because if you don't, you find that your things are not gonna be well. And that's what started happening, because you find that I found out that I was missing deadlines. Because you find that the Kenyan way that we were taught in school, we were not taught some planning, some kind of planning. We didn't learn that in school. Unless they are teaching right now, we never learned that in school. We only knew that to go to school, there was that timetable that we were following, and that was it. But you find that planning, a schedule, that today I'm going to be here, this is what I'm going to be doing, or whatever, we didn't get that one. And I look at my children, even when they go to school right now, they normally have to buy folders. You see something like this. And those folders, they have different colors. Like this red one, this one is for Olivia, because this one is the homework that she brings home. It's red. The one that she doesn't, the schoolwork that she has to keep at school is blue. So they have all this stuff that they are having to help them to manage their time. My speaker is falling here. So it's important to plan. So that person has invited you and they have their own schedule. And then they don't have your time. So what's going to happen? You're going to end up not being enemies. Why? And you say that, oh, that person, they called me, they are exploiting me, or whatever. So you don't want that to happen. And it happens a lot. Even the people with DV lottery, sometimes when they are hosted, they end up becoming enemies with their host. Why? Because maybe you are not proactive. I told you guys, it's about being proactive. You're hosted. Yes, you don't want to live there forever. Go stay there 1-2 months. Get out. Go start your life. It doesn't matter even if you start with sleeping on the floor. It does not matter, because you're starting life, and you have to accept that. So guys, I want you to understand that very well, very, very well. And that is why there are other visas that you can use. Like we talked about the cruise ship, and that's a good opportunity. And when you go back and read about that video about the cruise ship, I even showed you the website that you can apply. But I told you that you have to, even if you don't get it the first time, try and try and try. Why are you trying and trying and trying? Because you never know. And then do not try one part. Try different companies. Why? Because you find that you never know. You never know when your star will shine. You never know, guys. And I normally tell you guys, like for me, it's a miracle that I live here in the US. So try other ways. If you don't get the DV lottery, try other ways. But do not want to come here and say that, oh, so and so is gonna call. Even me, I'm not able to get anybody a job. Even my own kids, I'm not able to get them. I can refer them, yes, but I don't have to go and talk to anybody for them to give them a job. No, I can refer them. And that's it. That's how things work here. Because what we need to forget is that when we are back home and you're looking for a job, maybe you're well up uncle, or you're well up aunt, or you're well up whatever, the relative or your friend has to go and talk to the boss so that you can get a job. It doesn't work like that here. Here, normally what happens, your credentials, you have them. Doesn't matter where you came from. You're certified to do the job. they will give you a job. That's how it does. So I hope that this video is going to be able to benefit that person who wrote that message, because it's important to know. Even just the simple jobs, like, and I remember when we came in here, my husband was looking for a job, and actually he started looking for a job the next day. He started walking. He didn't want to stay in the house, so he started walking to look. And then when he was walking to look, he went to a flower store. They sell flowers during summer, because we came around summer, and he was looking for a job. And then by that time we had already gone to apply for the social, because he had gone like in the afternoon, but we hadn't gotten anything. We only had the little receipt that says that they're gonna send in your mail and all that stuff. But the first thing that guy asked him, and he was a president, he's like, "Do you have documentation to prove that you can work?" But he didn't have it. He only had his passport at that time, so he wasn't able to get until he went. He got his social, he got his ID. That's when he was able to apply. So it's good, and it's good to share, because you find that when you have experienced something, or when someone close to you has experienced something, at least you can say, "This is what happened." So you don't want to come here and be exploited by anybody. You don't want to come here and someone to make you a babysitter, and they're not going to be able to pay you the amount that they're supposed to be paid for you to be paid, because you find that a babysitter here earns more than $18 and above. So you do not want that to happen. And at the same time, the person who is coming, the visitor, you do not want to violate your visa. Don't violate it. The time that you're coming, come, go. Come, go. I know it takes fare and whatever, but the person who is hosting you can mobilize and they can help you. So it's very, very important for you guys to know that. And I felt like I would talk about this. So guys, you're gonna watch this video as a recorded one, and then I will see you in another video. And thank you, and God bless you.